And the habit of prayer is essential to that relationship with God, that connection with God. And we can't call ourselves a Christian, a Christ follower, a disciple, if we don't pray. It's like saying I'm a musician and I've never picked up an instrument. Or I'm an author and I've never written anything down. Or I'm an athlete and I've never exercised. The essence of prayer is being in communion with God. It's the how and the where we discover that right relationship with God. And if the greatest commandment is to love God, the place that we'll discover that love is a place of prayer. It's where we'll discover who he is in our life. 1 Corinthians 1:9 says, God is faithful, by whom you were called into fellowship of his Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. That God is faithful to us. And Paul's statement that God is faithful was a reminder to the other gods that they worship, particularly Greek gods. And what he's saying is our God is faithful. Those other gods, they're fickle, they're undependable, they're changeable, they're unstable. But he says our God is faithful. He's faithful to his promise. He's faithful to his people. And he gives us spiritual gifts. And we need to remain faithful to who he is to the end. And because God is faithful, we can have faith in God. He's the very one who's called us into communion, into that fellowship with who he is. And we come into that relationship, or we come into that place through this habit of prayer. We find this communion with God. And prayer simply is how we learn to walk with God. That's what changes us.